Hey guys, this is Ajay here from Maple Assistance. Hope you guys are staying safe and doing great. 2021 has really not been a great year for obvious reasons that we all know. This year has created a lot of panic in the minds of people who are desperately wanting to immigrate to Canada. People who are there in the pool have lost their points for their age, and IELTS have expired, ECAs have expired. They're they're not able to take up the IELTS once again because of the lockdown. So this has been a pretty bad year. Now all these guys who had some good score and now because of their age or because of their IELTS getting expired, they have lost some points. So these guys are thinking of alternatives to get their Canadian PR visa. And the number one alternative solution in order to get their Canadian PR visa looks like studying in Canada. So in this video, I would like to discuss about studying in Canada and converting that into a PR visa. So how can it be done and what are the things that you need to remember if you are planning to do the same. So without any further ado, let's get on to today's video. As we all know, express entry system is designed in such a way that the older you get, the tougher it becomes for you to get your Canadian PR visa. It's simply because the moment you hit 30, you start losing points for your age, right? So some people think it is unfair, some people think it is government is really biased, but that is how it is, right? And there are a lot of people who work really hard to get to a respectable CRS score. Even though their age is 30, 31, they really worked hard on their IELTS and they did their extra degree just to increase their CRS score. They did all their best, and unfortunately, since in the last 6 months the draws didn't happen, these people have lost points for their age and their IELTS have expired and they have not got their invitations. All these people who tried really hard to get their invitations, who were not able to get, and people who are also above the age 35, they are also now looking out for alternative options. I still know people who are desperately wanting to go to Canada no matter what, right? So these people are trying really hard to increase their CRS score, and the best option for them to do so seems to be a study in Canada. It's pretty obvious, right? Because once you do a study in Canada, then you get additional points, right? So if you're doing a 1-year study program in Canada, a PG diploma, you get 15 additional points. And if you're doing a master's degree or a 2-year diploma, then you get an additional 30 points on your CRS. But is studying in Canada a sure shot bet to get your Canadian PR? If that's the question, then the answer is no. Just because you are doing a study program in Canada, you will not be getting a Canadian PR visa. This is something that I want to make it very, very clear. I am getting a lot of calls, I'm talking to a lot of people, and these people simply think that if I don't qualify, I don't have enough CRS points right now, but the moment I step into Canada, somehow or the other, I'm definitely going to get a PR. That's not the case, because in today's video, I'm going to show you the case studies of people who did study in Canada, but they had to come back to India after not being able to get their PR visas, right? So I want you to understand few things before you take a decision to studying in Canada. So I just made a case study which I want you to look, and let's connect once again after you finish watching this case study. Well guys, here is the case study that I have prepared for you. Okay, so let's take the first case here. So what is the first case? The first case is, let's assume the age is less than 30 and that person is without a second degree, right? So this is the first case. So the maximum CRS score for this particular person with a CLB 9 is 429. So if your age is less than 30 and you don't have a second degree and you score a CLB 9, the maximum you can take your CRS score is to 429. After doing a 1-year Canadian degree with a CLB 9, then your CRS score can shoot to 477. So this really makes a lot of sense. So you don't have a second degree, but you're going to Canada to do your second degree and you score a CLB 9 there, then you can actually take your scores to 477. All right. And after doing your second degree in Canada, if you're not able to crack CLB 9, say you score only a CLB 8, then still your CRS score will be only at 417. So this is something that you need to remember, guys. even in spite of doing a second degree in Canada, doing a 1 year degree in Canada, if you are not able to score a CLB 9, then your score will be only around 417. Now let's take a look at case number 2. So here again the age is less than 30, but this time this person is having a second degree. So the maximum CRS score this guy can take his score to is 462 with a CLB 9. So that's going to be his maximum CRS score without a Canadian education, right? After doing a 1 year Canadian degree, okay, if he is doing a 1 year Canadian degree and if he is able to score a CLB 9 in IELTS, then he can take the scores to 477, right? So this is fantastic. So he can actually take the scores to 477. And in this case, let's assume that even after doing the 1 year Canadian degree, if he's not able to score a CLB 9, again his scores will be 417. So the Indian second degree and the Canadian second degree will not help, because it all comes under the same bracket, 2 or more degrees or certificate. So if he is not able to crack IELTS, if he is not able to score a CLB 9 in IELTS, then again doing that 1 year Canadian degree is absolutely waste, right? So you need to understand this thing. And one more thing that I want to tell for people who are falling under this case, that is age less than 30 and who have a second degree here in India. If you are thinking that 462 is not going to fetch you an invitation, you need to score 470, thereby if you are planning to do a Canadian study, I wouldn't suggest you that. The reason is, if you can score a CLB 10 instead of CLB 9 sitting here in India, you can take the scores to 471. So I'm telling you that you can actually increase another 12 points. So I'm talking about a good 474 actually. You can add 12 points to your existing score. That is, from 462 you can get another 12 points. So if you are someone whose age is less than 30 and who's having a score of 462, that is if you have a CLB 9, then I wouldn't suggest you to go to Canada, because you can save that money and you can give IELTS one more try and try to score a CLB 10. Thereby you can take your scores up to 474, right? So doing a 1 year Canadian degree is going to cost you 15 to 20 lakhs, whereby if you are taking up 4 to 5 attempts to crack that CLB 10, that is just going to cost you 75,000. So it's a pretty good deal. So you can give that a try and try to score a CLB 10 in India. Thereby you can take the scores to 474. That would make better sense, right? So this is something that you need to note. Case number 3, I am just assuming this time the age is 33 and this person doesn't have a second degree. So I just wanted to take a case whose age is above 30. So I just took the random age as 33 for inference, right? So the maximum CRS score this guy can get even after scoring a CLB 9 in IELTS is that 407, not more than 407, because this guy doesn't have a second degree and his age is also above 30. He's 33, so he has lost good 20 points for his age, right? So this is what he would get. And if he is doing a 1 year Canadian degree and if he is able to score that CLB 9, then still in spite of scoring a CLB 9 and having a 1 year Canadian degree, his CRS score would be only 455. So 455 may not make a great sense at this point in time, because the CRS score, expected CRS score is above, is high 470s and at least 469, 468, right? So 455 may not make sense. So in that case, it is safe to do a 2 year Canadian degree or a master's degree. That way you get 3 years of work permit. Not just that, you will also get 30 points for your Canadian study. Thereby with a CLB 9 and 2 year Canadian degree, you can take the CRS score to 470. So that is quite promising, right? So this is something that you need to understand, guys. So you need to note this thing. If you are doing a 1 year diploma in Canada, then you get a 1 year open work permit. In case you do a 2 year diploma or a master's degree, then you get 3 years work permit. So let me share my sister's case with you, right? So she is a PR holder right now. She went to Canada 2018, I think 3 years back. So her age is 27. She had a bachelor's degree back then and she had 2 years experience. Then she went to Canada. She did a 1 year diploma program and she also scored a CLB 10 in IELTS. So what happened was she was able to take her CRS score to 464. So CLB 10 plus 2 years work experience and 1 year Canadian diploma actually took her scores to 464. And 2019, I think she filed her PR and she got the PR last year. So pretty simple. Now let me show you her friend's case. Same profile just as my sister's, but the problem with her friend was that she was not able to crack CLB 9 in IELTS. Thereby her CRS score was only 416. And since she did a 1 year diploma program, the stay back was only 1 year. Therefore, to extend the stay, she had to enroll into another 1 year program to extend the visa, right? So she actually joined another course in Canada. Now she is preparing her IELTS and also looking out for jobs. So what's the conclusion here? My suggestion is try to understand your case clearly before you invest in your study, right? It's really important. Understand your case, work it out, calculate the CRS score after you get your degree. Understand, or you be clear with what your CRS score is going to be at that point in time when you complete your study. See if it makes sense to study or not, and then take a call. Because many people I know, they are investing a lot of their hard-earned money, their complete savings into studying in Canada, and many people are coming back to India, right? So I wouldn't suggest you to do that, right? Next thing is that ask yourself if you could really crack IELTS, right? So many are cases, even though you do a second degree in Canada, you still have to crack your IELTS to increase your CRS score. So many people think that, hey Ajay, I'm not able to crack IELTS here in India, so thereby I'm planning to do a study program in Canada. But they don't understand that even if they do a study program in Canada, again this IELTS thing is going to chase them and it's going to haunt them, right? So it is better you practice, you be prepared for IELTS here in India before you land in Canada, right? And the next thing is that please do your research right, understand the different PNP programs and find out which province gives an advantage for people who are doing a study program in that particular province, and shortlist the provinces and shortlist the universities in that particular provinces and start applying to those colleges or universities, right? So have this in mind. And the last point is that if you are someone who's above the age 30, that is probably you must be married right now, you would have worked for some good 5+ years or 7+ years, you would have made some money, and people who are above 30, it's a very big decision, to study in Canada, because you would be spending your time, money, energy, effort, and also your savings, correct? So think twice and plan things meticulously, have a plan B, plan C, whatever it is, before you take a call on your study program, right? So that's something that I wanted to share with you guys. Well, as you have seen in this particular case study, I've already shared this, but I would like to tell this once again. The first and foremost thing that you need to do before signing up for a study program in Canada is that you need to understand what will be your CRS after you successfully complete that study program. For example, after doing a 1 year PG diploma degree and with the current IELTS score, if you are not able to get the score above 470, then there is no point in investing a huge amount in studying in Canada, because anyways you're not going to get your invitation. The next thing that you need to understand is that if you are someone who is planning to do a 1 year study program, then please understand you'll be getting a 1 year open work permit, but it is very hard to get a job in 1 year. And for you to qualify under the Canadian experience class category, then you need to have a minimum 12 months work experience in Canada. If you don't get the 12 months work experience in Canada, then you don't qualify for under the Canadian experience class. So again, in that way, just ask yourself that will you be able to get to a respectable CRS score if you are doing a 1 year study program in Canada. If 1 year study program in Canada is going to take your scores to 460, then I would strongly recommend you to consider doing a 2 year diploma or a master's degree. The reason why I say so is because when you're doing a master's degree or a 2 year diploma, you get 3 years work permit, and in that 3 years you can definitely get into a job and you might get 1 or 2 years of Canadian work experience, and that is also going to add to your CRS score. So in that case, even if you're someone who's not able to crack IELTS, then doing a master's degree would be ideal, because that can give you additional push in the CRS points. Not just that, it will also give you 3 years work permit. In that way you can start working, and that will add to your CRS score. So whatever points that you're losing on IELTS, this might actually tend to compensate, right? And one more thing that you need to remember, guys, is that you need to understand first the provinces which actually helps you, which gives advantage for people who are doing a study in that particular province. So there is something called as masters and doctorate stream in Ontario. So people who have done their master's degree and doctorate degree in Ontario, there is a particular stream where they issue PRs, and Saskatchewan gives additional points for people who have done study there. Manitoba gives additional points for people who have done study there. So please do your research, right? So please be very, very vigilant about it, and please do your research right before you step into this study thing, because please, you are investing a lot of money. 15 to 30 lakhs is not that, it's not a small amount, it's a huge money. So before making such a big investment, not just in terms of money but also in terms of time, you're spending 1 to 2 years of your precious time. So please make your research right and make sure that there is no turning back, right? I personally know a lot of people who went to Canada on a study permit, and these guys, they have the student mentality. What is the student mentality? They watch a lot of videos about Canada. So the moment they step into Canada, they don't focus on study. They try to get their cars, they try to hang out, they try to go on trips and other things, and eventually they tend to fail, or they tend to misunderstand the sole purpose why they have been to Canada, right? So till you get your PR, I would want you to hold your horses. So focus on what is really important. Try to get into a job. So if you're someone who's experienced, let's say your age is 32, you already have 8-9 years of experience in IT in India, and you're going to Canada on a 1-year study program, and you're doing this to get your PR, then probably I would suggest you to start hunting for jobs from day one onwards. Have that mindset, have the tendency to, because you already have the experience. Yes, you are doing a study program in Canada, but don't wait till you get the degree in hand. So I would suggest you to start hunting jobs even when you land in Canada. So apply to companies, understand how the job market works. So in that way, once you complete your study, soon after, when you apply for the open work permit, you can start applying for jobs, and you might get interview calls, and you might make use of that time productively. You might get into a job very easily, right? So please do your study well before you're taking this very big decision, a life-changing decision, I would rather say. So there is no guarantee that simply because you're doing a study in Canada, you're not going to get your PR. So there are people who studied in Canada. Unfortunately, they were not able to crack their IELTS in spite of having additional points for doing a study in Canada, or even after working for a year in Canada. Just because they didn't meet the required CRS score, they are not able to get. If you don't meet the required CRS score, then you won't be able to get your PR. So end of the day, it all boils down to your IELTS. Even if you're trying to go to Canada, still the IELTS is going to follow you. So anyways, you'll have to definitely learn this thing, and you have to crack this IELTS for sure, right? So that is something that you need to remember. Another question that is there in the mind of a lot of people is study gap, right? So Ajay, I did my UG 7-8 years back, 10 years back. So will I be able to get a study visa approved if I apply now, right? So this is actually, the person who takes a call is the visa officer, right? Many a times you might actually get a offer letter from a college or university. That's really not a problem. Convincing a college or a university is really not a big problem, but convincing the visa officer is the real challenge here. So what you actually need is a good statement of purpose. Your statement of purpose should reflect the reason why you want to do that study, right? So please understand, guys, it is the Indian mentality that it is we who think that you should complete your UG by 21, by 25 you should have completed your PG, and you should have got into a job, and you must be earning this much. But that is not the case in Western countries. In countries like US and Canada, people they get into a MBA college by the age of 30 or 35. It's really common to get into a college at 35 or 40, right? So it's not uncommon, but the thing is that you have to justify the reason why you want to do it. So how does it get justified? On your statement of purpose, right? So please make sure that you are making a very strong statement of purpose so that it's convincing to the visa officer, right? And that is something that you need to remember. If you are able to do so, you might actually very well get it. So one classic example is one of my very own clients. So his age is 35. He tried really hard. He was there with me. He's sticking with me from 2019 onwards, but unfortunately the scores didn't drop and he was not able to get an invitation in spite of having a 440 score. So he applied for a study visa, and now he has got his study visa approved, and he's leaving to Canada this September, right? So it has happened in the past, it is still happening, so it might happen to you as well. But again, I'm asking you, before taking a decision, please make your research right. So once all these things are done, you stand a pretty obvious chance, right? The reason for me to make this video is because a lot of people are having a vague or an understanding that like studying in Canada is a guaranteed PR. That's not the case. There are people who are failing. I don't want you to be that one, right? I don't want you to spend 15-20 lakhs and then cut a sorry face and come back to India. That's absolutely waste of money and time, right? So please think well before you do it. And if you want to discuss your case with me, you can very well do that. I've given the link in the description. You can click the link and you can consult with me regarding your particular profile, right? So that's it from me, guys. I hope this video is useful to you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you are here for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this with your friends and comment your thoughts about this particular video. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much. I'll be back with another video very soon. Until then, it is Ajay signing off. Take care. Bye bye.